Please welcome your amazing MC for the Emerge America's main stage, President of Air Ventures, Leanne Buchanan.
Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. Please don't leave yet because we have an amazing lineup of speakers. My name is Leanne Buchanan. I am President at Air Ventures, and I'm really excited to kick off what's gonna be an amazing afternoon. Before we get started with the folks backstage, and trust me, I was talking to them, they've got so many gems for you to drop. I wanna share with you that we wanna thank the people that made this all happen. So let's give up a round of applause for our title sponsor, blockchain.com, all of our partners, the program sponsors, the founding partners, the premier sponsors, and our global sponsors. Thank you again for your continued support. Let's give them a round of applause. So, if you haven't done so already, there's a lot happening, and you should download the Emerge America's app. Really easy to do. Just go to the App Store and download it. I did it. It took about 30 seconds, and it will give you the full run of show of what's happening. We also invite you to share your favorite moments on social media. I can already see people taking pictures, so make sure you share on social media. Tag Emerge Americas, hashtag Emerge Americas. Now, are you guys ready for another set of speakers? Are you guys ready for another set of speakers? Are you ready for another set of speakers? Okay, next up, we're gonna talk about Web3. And to be honest, I love the conversation that Alexis and Deirdre just had, because I feel like I got a primer on Web3. We've got a fireside chat coming up between two of my new favorite people, a Miami native, Chris Adamo, who is the founder and co-founder of Flamingo Capital and Letterhead, and the person that a lot of you are here to see, two-time NBA All-Star, entrepreneur, investor, Baron Davis. They're gonna come out here and talk about their career paths, as well as the cultural emergence of Web3. And we were just chopping it up backstage, and trust and believe you are in for a treat. Let's give a round of applause to Baron Davis and Chris Adamo. Guys, you ready?
I feel like first time on the stage, long time listener, first time caller. I'm pumped to be with my boy Baron. Baron, thank you for coming out to this.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's pretty bright in here, but it's cool. I can see y'all.
Yeah, we good. Focus right here.
Okay, gotcha,
Eyes up
bro.
here. So, this is a testament of two people that have come from, I think basic, like early lives to something great. I mean, if I could do it, you can do it. I'm so pumped to be up here. And Baron also is, a boy from Compton, all the way to the NBA, to now amazing venture capital investor. But he's been doing it the whole way, like not just now, over the last 15, 20 years. So I'd love for you to give a little backstory on your upbringing and like how you went from where you went to now.
Yeah, one, thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me. Growing up in South Central Los Angeles, that is the east side of Los Angeles. If you're familiar with the riots in 92, that was the side that was burning. So I come from like the have-nots, not a lot of opportunity, hardly any role models. And I would say like a gated community with no gates. I got an opportunity to go to a private school.
Your grandma, I heard, was a big part of that.
My grandmother is probably the most influential person in my life.
Abuelitas out there.
She wanted me to be presentable, dress nice, talk well, make good grades, make sure school was important. And I got a chance to go to a private school, and that kind of like opened up my world, going from like Disneyland, like I went to Disneyland every day, and then I came home and it was like, Beirut or, one of the worst places to go to. So, just kind of growing up, going through 7th through 12th grade, like I learned as I grew. And as I grew, I learned to, kind of take on more responsibility. more responsibility than I probably needed to. But the thought was, if I had this opportunity, my friends didn't, and they didn't know who we were. And so I would say my life's journey is to be a bridge maker, to give people the opportunity throughout LA, throughout inner cities in every city, to be able to like have access to a bridge of opportunity, for the haves and the have-nots.
Amazing, really amazing. And you saw the opportunity while you were playing in the NBA to like take everything on your own. Like you were your own agent. You're investing in things like from day one. Like amazing. Tell everyone like kind of about that story. How that happened.
Yeah. I got lucky. Once again, just kind of listening and learning. And everybody on my team was like, "Yo, bro, you don't need an agent. You don't need an agent. Like you're gonna get a big contract." And I was like, "Why don't I need an agent?" I was like, "The agent don't do nothing." I was like, "You're right. Like he hasn't done anything." So I realized I was getting a big contract. I fired my agent. And then basically I hired my best friend, my college roommate, and basically a family friend to kind of be our overseer and chaperone. And it was real life entourage. So I stepped out on my own, or we stepped out together, and it was just like, hey, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this on my own. I had interned for my agent for I call it an internship, for 3 years. I read every contract. I knew what everybody made. I knew what everybody had in their clause. And so when it was my turn for my contract, I knew what to ask for everything. And then at that point, it was just a matter of fake it till we made it.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah, we got lucky. I would say a lot of it was just being afraid to show that, hey, this 22-year-old dude is my agent. And so we would take deals that were untraditional, unconventional. And so we had a Sprite deal, and I remember it was the head of marketing was going to Vitamin Water. And he was like, "Yo, I'm leaving. I'm gonna set your deal up." And I was like, "Yo, where are you going? You're the only person I know, and if I get over here, we're gonna be exposed. We wanna go with you." And he was like, "We can't afford you at Vitamin Water." And I was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll just take stock." And he was like,
Wow.
There's not enough stock to give you. I was like, "Oh yeah, it is. We'll make it work. I don't want that deal. I wanna be with you, and I wanna learn marketing. I want to learn whatever this company is." I wasn't a huge believer in the actual product, but the team was amazing, and my best friend loved the product. And so I did a deal where I took equity instead of marketing money, and I could go sign athletes to Vitamin Water, and they would give them money.
No
And
way.
so it was a part of my equity deal. And so to be able to see that come to fruition, over our trajectory of our career, was something that, we kind of took a chance on. And that was how we learned to take investments, invest in companies, before they even grew. And I didn't know what a seed or Series A or none of that. I just liked the people. I was like, hey, this is a hell of an opportunity. We may get lucky.
Amazing. So what would the Baron now tell a Baron then that you should have known maybe?
Buy more equity.
Buy more equity.
Yeah.
That's
Get
true.
out of your
That's
friends.
that's a lesson that most people don't learn until
For sure.
too later on in their careers.
Yeah, I would say if I was coaching myself now, I would just guide, right? Because a lot of athletes, a lot of musicians, entertainers, they're in the thick of it. And so they're getting thrown so many great opportunities, so many great companies, but there's a vetting process, there's a due diligence process that's not really happening, and so as we get excited about one company, there may be 4 in the trajectory. And so, the patience of being able to guide someone and say, "Oh, that's a great idea. That looks like a great company. Let us do some back end, due diligence to see who's the competitor and how strong they are, in this category."
Yeah. So we share a couple investments ourselves. Miami-based Caribou, House of Wise, Zerp. We got, am I missing any of those?
Wilder World.
Wilder World, yeah. So on diligence side, how are you finding companies, and what does it take as a founder to get your attention? As we all here probably wondering that.
People are gonna laugh. It's Twitter.
Ooh, Twitter.
I swear to God, Twitter to me, like I tried LinkedIn, like trying to connect. When I first did it, I tried like LinkedIn, I tried going to conferences, and then I just got on Twitter and I started DMing founders. And I was like, yo, you wanna show up to like our conference? Hey, I'm having a dinner. And I would plan dinners and I would DM founders and I DM other VCs, and Twitter became my best lead gen. And so I just started like aggregating and communicating, with people on Twitter. And then from a due diligence standpoint, people on Twitter, they love to brag about their accomplishments and like what they're raising. And a lot of people like you comment and are smart and be like, oh yeah, I'm invested. And so I think the best leaders are great followers. And so I follow people like you. And so I'll let you do all the due diligence.
Lots of reading,
and trust your instincts.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I hear that Miami is on your radar these days. Is this something you're considering about moving here, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. I think, there's a boom happening, but it's really like a great community vibe that's happening.
Yeah.
And so, as Miami starts to, rebrand itself as Web3, as technology, you already have media, sports, and entertainment here. And so for us, what we're building with Slick, with our OTT marketplace for creators and publishers, I think this is a great opportunity for us to establish a presence here, with all the smart people coming in and a lot of people actually moving here to stay. So, we have some investors here, some advisors, and Miami is a vibe.
It is a vibe, and we're here for you.
It's not LA though. It's not LA.
All right, well, let's talk about this. LA versus Miami. What's your positives? What's your negatives? LA, Miami.
LA got better food.
Oh, I don't know.
LA got more family. I get home cooked meals.
All right, home cooked meal. Okay, that's one. My house is your house now. Okay, we come over.
The Lakers. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Dodger fan. So, UCLA. I'm just LA biased.
It's your home.
Yeah.
It's your home.
Miami is kind of like the East Coast version of an LA to me. It has like, beach. It does have some downtown vibe. I just haven't had like the best, meals here in Miami. So if anybody got recommendations,
give me a week, Baron. I will change your mind.
Done. I went to Prime 112 and they gave me a baked potato and it was this big.
Yeah, that's not our best work.
And like the baked potato was this big, the steak was this big. It was like broccoli was standing up.
Hey, we're bigger in Miami.
No, you're not. Nobody eats here. They just look at the food and talk.
I want to talk about actually like in the NBA, you're a point guard, right? The NBA, your point guard's job is to like spread the ball around, make sure everyone gets a look. How have you made that like your investing thesis now, as far as like getting founders who often don't get looks, some looks?
I think for us, it's really about thinking together. And for me, it's really listening and seeing where I can fill in the gaps. And so everything that we do is with purpose, is with intention. We want to walk the walk, talk the talk, and we want to build the most diverse collection of people. And we want to have a focus on empowering people of color and empowering women. Because like in my journey, that's where I've seen where, the most help is needed.
Right on.
And so what we're doing, we're investing, we're building, we're passing off. And, the goal for us in our venture studio is like, build something that we know is worthy of other people running it and having the responsibility of growing it. And so sometimes we'll build it, sometimes they'll have an idea, we'll give them the tools to build. Sometimes they've already built it and we'll surround them with the strategy to help, amplify where they need to go. And so when we look at, any investment, Caribou, House of Wise, our thought is how can we surround that CEO, that founder, right, with the right connections of people. So as they get ready, they can pick up a phone and say, hey, BD, I need this. Okay, done. Hey, BD, you're in town, I need this. And then we're thinking about them even ahead of their schedule to kind of like lay out the yellow brick road for them.
That's awesome. So like, when you found Maxine at Caribou or Amanda at House of Wise, what sparked like, I gotta invest in this thing? Like, I can help this person grow like wildfire.
Latina woman and another woman. So that was already a plus. And then they were just super, super duper smart.
They are.
I think with Caribou, you know, we created a brand and IP called Black Santa in a world called You Wish, where your story is your superpower, and our goal is to celebrate culture and heritage through, you know, children's books and multicultural family storytelling. And so when you look at Caribou, Caribou was the extension and the distribution for being able, you know, my kid at 2 years old being able to pick up the phone and go, you know, on a platform and talk, you know, FaceTime with his grandma and paint and color and learn. And so, you know, looking at Caribou, it was like the edutainment, you know, mixed with our IP and our, you know, entertainment, you know, tech side. It was, you know, like, how can we invest in Max? And then how can we amplify everything that we're doing with Max? Even some of our partnerships, making sure that Caribou is the destination that touches it and is the responsible, you know, technology platform in that. And then with House of Wise, you know, sex gummies, sleep gummies, wellness gummies.
I'm in.
Founded by a woman, and you know, we have a lot of great women in our company, and they were like, yo, we want that. They were like, we'll do all the due diligence, we're investing in that, like, move, get out the room. And I was like, all right, I'll leave. Like, can I taste them? And they're tasty. But that was an investment made by you know, our partners and the women in our firm.
I love it. I love it. So what's some advice for all the founders in the room right now? Like, what should everyone be focusing on, looking at, doing more of? What's missing?
I think collaboration. I think you need to, you know, kind of get out your own way. You know, a lot of it is like being able to be self-aware and self-analyze and be, I don't know if this is a word, uninsecure.
Uninsecure. Yeah, it's a word now.
But the goal is to like think about collaboration. Think about, you know, how do you expand your business with the people that you want to work with or the people that are in your space, right, that you need. Like, don't be afraid, you know, to open yourself up for information, for questions. I think we're in a time where the world is wanting to collaborate, right? A lot of the other smaller companies or bigger companies, they're looking for you, right? Everybody can use each other, and that's why I'm most excited about Web3, because it is community, it is collaboration, and it is a willingness to be vulnerable and allow for other people to come in and help. So that would be my advice to the founders. And don't give up, don't give up. Never, never, never give up. Be agile, and it's okay to pivot, even if someone smarter than you is telling you to do it and you don't want to.
Yeah, it's important to fail, and you know, these losses, they're actually lessons, and people don't think of those L's as in that manner. But most people like you're scared to tell someone, you know, that hey, this thing didn't work out. But what'd you learn from it, and how do you evolve from that?
Totally. I mean, it's similar to sports. It's like, you know, when you look at the Kobe's or the, you know, Dwayne Wade's, if we're in Miami, like, failure is success. Because once you've kind of like given it your all and it didn't work or you didn't reach the goal that you needed, all that is a recalibration, and you know that you can get to this level of learning and you can get there. Now what are you gonna do different? And so don't look at failure as like, oh, like, you gotta look at it as a learning lesson for success, because your next move is your best move.
Yeah, I think bringing it out is really important, because most folks, they hide it, right? Like, you know, you should be like, you know, bring it to the front for it. And then like, hey, I'm evolving from this, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Web3, all right? Because
Okay.
I feel like this is like my world. I love it so much. I see it evolving in front of us like as we speak. You're doing that with your venture studio. I think Slick is also in that world. Give me like your take on right now, like why Web3?
Why Web3? I think it's a new industry. It's like a new frontier. When you think about where we are now, like everybody's everywhere doing everything, and it's just like, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's a part of what you're doing. You don't really know if people's goals are aligned and alike to your brand, or people there to antagonize or disrupt. And so what's happening in social media is like, as much as we're getting connected, we're getting disconnected.
Yeah.
I think Web3 is the reconnection, right? Because you start thinking about the art you like, you start thinking about the community you want to be in, you start thinking about the membership, you start thinking about the game that you may want to play, right? And when you're aligned, it's only a certain amount of number of people, right, in these clubs, in these collections. And I think that is the connection, like being able to find 5,000, 2,500 people, right? For an artist to be able to put their work out and know that they're supported by a community of people that believe in them, and the community of people that believe in the artist is actually a part of their journey, right? And so, where there is competition to be crabs in a barrel, right? I think Web3 gives everybody has a mentality of like, why are we all fighting to the top? Let's just push the barrel over and everybody can kind of roam and congregate and collaborate. So that's why I'm most excited about it. And then obviously like protection, your data, your IP, all of those things you get to share them how you want, right? You get to license your IP, you get to license your data to who you want, right? And so it's no longer gonna be somebody kind of like being your controller. You know what I mean? Or somebody's telling you this is what you want. Oh, I heard this, we should sell you this. You actually get to build your own ecosystem and you get to reconnect and build your own community.
Yeah, I think that the whole idea of like decentralizing things and getting more input is like very much needed, but also needs some guardrails. So we're in the middle of building those right now.
I mean, it is new, just like anything else. Just, you think about the gold rush, you think about prohibition, like everything is gonna need some rules, some laws, and the beauty of this is like people like yourself, people who have really been championing this it's not the money, it's the purpose. And so I ultimately think that, Web3, like your worth is gonna be based on what you do socially and what you're doing for the planet and what you're doing for mankind, right? We're no longer going to celebrate the $200 billion person, right? Because that $200 billion person, if they're not doing nothing for the environment, for the people, you know what I mean, are solving a real problem, then, communities of people are not gonna care.
It could be the real equalizer finally that we've
I think so.
looking for so long of like, how does everyone get a chance to have a say and have some upside? And I think that this could be it.
I totally agree. I mean, when you think about, the redistribution of wealth or the distribution of money and value, if we start placing value, right, on the things that you can't buy, you know what I mean? Then the people who are hustling to race to the top to get as much money as they can, they're gonna be there and they'll be empty, And I think that this social currency, this social wealth is gonna be about, how we all leave our imprint on this earth, right? How this generation is going to, like, what are we gonna be responsible for outside of like making money? You know what I mean? So that's, that's kind of like that's my goal for Web3, right? And I think that's like the ecosystem and the community that, we want to build with more than us is like, we want to bring social value past, wealth, like the value of wealth. And
Yeah.
money.
So is that your main purpose with Slick and the Venture Studio? Like how's it going right now? What's up and bad a little bit?
Yeah, so Slick was built as an OTT marketplace for publishers, for brands and creators to be able to find each other. And if we allow creators to have access to whether it's a $5,000 budget or a $25,000 budget, then allowing them to have the freedom to create for their audience is going to be better for the brand. And the brand is going to be able to, take a bigger budget and be able to empower more creators to think about their brand differently. And so for Slick, it's really about just arming the community, arming the creators. For More Than Us, it's about, building brands and building channels that can fit into Slick. Then we can build a collective of founders, operators, and so giving people the opportunity to own their channel or own in their genre, right? Ultimately for Slick, we're like the pipes and tools and the connector between the brands, between the content creators and like the publishers like All Death and people like that who never got a chance to create content or sell a TV show to Hollywood.
Yeah. I saw you building a metaverse version of the NBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Is that how'd that come
So
about?
that's out of More Than Us. So one of our founders is from South Central Los Angeles and graduated from ITT Tech, and he's the best meta architect, I believe out here. And what we did was we wanted to decentralize basketball. So it was thinking about who owns basketball. Nobody. The NBA, the NCAA, they do not own basketball. Basketball is a global sport that happens from 1 all the way to 99. It's local, and everybody has a story and a connection. And so when we created History of the Game, the goal was to be able to give the talent their opportunity to tell their story. Give the local heroes the opportunity to induct, the people that they love into their Hall of Fame. So when you go, to the History of the Game for Miami, it will be the Miami Heat, but it will also be Miami University. It'll also be Miami Street basketball. It's also, what's happening in China. Like, what does China basketball look like? What is basketball in Dubai and Euro League? And so it's not just thinking about the NBA, but also, more importantly, thinking about the NBA players who are not going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and their stories and all of the, the time that they spent, right? To build a brand, to leave a legacy, to not qualify for, the Hall of Fame that's judged by writers and reporters who never played. And so, for me, this is like a project of passion. This is like my give back for playing the game of basketball and for what the NBA taught me. And, I want to build this museum where NBA players, the ones who are not, the Dwayne Wades, like the Udonis Haslems, the Shane Battiers, all of these people have contributed to this game in so many ways that I think that they deserve to have their Hall of Fame. And so thinking about decentralizing, it's like that's what we want to do. We want to give these guys their own documentaries, their rights, their own NFTs. And, someone like George Gerving, he gets to experience Web3 and he missed out on all the webs, you know what I mean? Because he was before,
Right, there's no documentation
before
back
time.
then.
Yeah.
Interesting. So from your MBA days, what have you most taken into your investing world? Like, what has been hey, I learned this, I'm gonna use this now?
I would say camaraderie and team building. And as a point guard, you have to know everybody. You have to know what makes them tick, what makes them upset, how to motivate. And then also how to relate to someone and drive a conversation to get the best out of them. I think that's what basketball has taught us the most. We actually use football analogies when we talk to entrepreneurs and founders because you need team. You need offense mentality, you need a defensive mentality, and you need a special teams mentality. Basketball is like this.
Right.
So it's constant innovation, and so we don't encourage entrepreneurs to be moving like this because, you know, basketball is not the right
Less showtime.
Yeah. More structure.
Methodical work.
Yeah, moving, you know, it's like moving down the field to score a touchdown, you know, or kick a field goal. Like you want to put points on the board. Basketball is kind of like a wild, wild west. We teach basketball to like creators. You know what I mean? How to be nimble, how to be, you know, willing to be edited, right? How do you take the collaboration of working with a brand, a producer, a director? Like that's more of kind of like our basketball analogy when it comes to like creative entrepreneurs.
Amazing. So we're almost out of time, so I wanted to give you a little bit of time to discuss, you know, more things Baron Davis. What didn't I ask you that I should be asking you?
I'm super excited about our More Than Us project. It's called Girl Get Your Bag.
Oh, yeah.
So the women, they kicked me out the room again. And they wanted to create a collective of women that were empowering women in Web 2, Web 2.5, and Web 3 to create this collective and this unique collective of women that's champion women. And so, you know, when you think about Girl Get Your Bag, it's podcasts, it'll be dinners, brunches, events at events, and really just creating this ecosystem of incredible women that, you know, are gonna go on and do great things, and having, you know, a nest egg and a safety net that they can always come back to. So that project is, I believe, dropping in June, early June, and so I would say outside of History of the Game, that is what I'm most excited about.
You definitely need that.
We do.
We do. We really need that. All right, 1 minute left. Let's talk NBA. Miami Heat, #1 seed. What do we think? Can you win it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think so? Yeah, come on. Yo, we look good on Sunday.
No, y'all look good. Y'all look good. Miami looks good. I mean, I think it comes down to Miami, Milwaukee, Boston. Those
all in the
are
East.
Ones. Yeah. Everything. I think whoever wins come out the East. If the Warriors get healthy and they come out the West, I think the Warriors can beat any team in the East. It's just going to be really, really, really tough. The East has the better teams and the better talent.
It's been a long time coming for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been like evolving. Like
Right.
ever since LeBron went to the Lakers, you know, it's like the East got better, you know. So, you know, I would worry about Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Brooklyn, I think that's who you'll
Worries me.
probably have next, right? But those are the only two. Like Milwaukee and Brooklyn are the only ones that should stop Miami. But I really like Miami and what
All
they
right,
did.
you heard it here first, guys.
Love
Thank
to
you,
see them
Baron.
in the
It's
championship.
really been amazing. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you all. Appreciate
All right, thanks, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Chris.